New Bedford, the city that rose to fame during the 19th century as the whaling capital of the world, has a captivating history. From 1820 to 1860, the whaling industry in New Bedford was at its peak. The thriving whaling city inspired enduring works like Herman Melville's Moby Dick and was a magnet for creative souls and independent thinkers like Frederick Douglass. New Bedford had claimed its spot in the history books. The fall of the whaling industry in the late 1800s paved the way for New Bedford's own industrial revolution. Driven by an abundance of textile mills, New Bedford continued its wealthy streak into the early 1900s. However, things were soon to change. Due to the turmoil within America's economy during the 1930s, New Bedford's period of abundance crumbled and the city fell upon hard times.
We had years, if not decades, where old manufacturing cities in the country struggled because at one time New Bedford, of course, was the richest city in the world because of whaling, but then there was a very smooth transition of applying that capital to the textile industry. Long time ago, the textile owners took their money and ran, and so we had decades where you have all of this manufacturing population without jobs. So for many years, things were tough.
The glory brought about by whaling and industry was a fading memory, overshadowed by periods of economic hardship and social unrest. Despite this, not all was lost. One prominent establishment that persevered through the hard times was the Star Store in downtown New Bedford. Opened on October 8, 1898, the Star Store was a precursor to modern-day retail centers. It prospered through the early 1980s until it was suddenly closed down on January 12, 1985. Unable to adapt to an evolving market, the Star Store found itself facing the same difficulties as its home city. With no clear future in sight, the store sat empty with a crumbling facade, awaiting some sign of change. In recent years, however, New Bedford has been rebuilding itself to former glory on the foundations of its history. With a downtown historic district, the city provides its citizens and visitors with a window to the past. The most recent addition to this reclamation process is the establishment of the Seaport Cultural District.
It just all ties together into the larger element that we now call the New Bedford Seaport Cultural District. And we're one of the 25 recognized cultural districts in Massachusetts that really recognizes the fact that we're dealing with programming the arts, culture, and we're in a good relationship with our commercial peers.
New Bedford Mayor John Mitchell recently emphasized the importance of a vibrant downtown.
The downtown is a place of common experiences where people tend to gravitate in any city, and Bedford's no exception. And there is no successful city in America that doesn't have a vibrant downtown. You need to have it to work, to succeed in the long run. So part of success is having a downtown that's safe, that is easily accessible, and is also interesting.
One of the key components of the downtown district is the Star Store. 100 years after its opening, the Star Store was leased out to the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth to be used by its College of Visual and Performing Arts in 1998. Since then, the center has been a driving force in the revival of the city.
It was a difficult project, and here's why. The Star Store had been empty for many years, and I had had a lot of experience with the project as a young economic development director at the New Bedford Chamber of Commerce. We tried to entice hotel developers. There were many different projects. Most people wanted to tear it down. Ultimately, the only folks at the end of the day who I think really had a shared vision with us, in fact, they shared their vision with us, that small group, were the artists and musicians. New Bedford has always been one of the most interesting cultural cities in the entire country.
It's interesting how the Star Store has morphed and really made an impact in this area, but just kind of in a different way. It was its own economic engine back, in a retail sense, but now it's this economic engine. It's this driving force, this hub, still in the downtown area, but more so for art and culture, and that's pretty exciting.
This high standing in the art community makes New Bedford a much sought-after destination for students from all over the world.
A couple of years ago, the author Richard Florida did a survey throughout the United States to find out where the best places are for artists to live and work. New Bedford is ranked number 7 in the country.
Now we're getting this drive of people that these artists, these very creative individuals that are seeing this as the place to be. And that's really what I would say, is that New Bedford is the place to be.
The learning experience for these students is not strictly confined to the Star Store classrooms. Living and working in downtown New Bedford has opened up a number of ways for students to give back to the community in a creative way. One such opportunity has been the transformation of open storefronts into pop-up galleries.
We make basically vacant storefronts and actually the space behind it interesting. So a couple of examples, the Bristol building across the way has a big open space in it that they've had just a lot of trouble trying to get a tenant in there over a longer period of time. So after a tenant that had been in there for about a couple of years went out, the place was painted all red and black. And you can't rent or attract somebody in a space that's red and black. So they made a deal with our artistry students that they would host their, what they call the BFA senior show in that space, rent-free, but our students would go in and clean it. They cleaned it and they repainted the whole thing. And any of the lights that were burned out, they replaced those and made the space look beautiful. And since then, they've been able to rent it out a couple of times from basically what they call pop-up galleries.
The Vacant Storefront project is just one of the many ventures that benefit the surrounding community.
There are just a number of different partnerships that occur downtown, Chamber of Commerce, local areas. After all, we have quite a few students in this building, so all these local businesses definitely benefit from that as well.
There are a variety of local businesses in the downtown area, from antique shops to restaurants. Each business contributes to the overall appeal of the city. One event that binds the community together is the New Bedford AHA Night, which celebrates the art, history, and architecture of the downtown area. This celebration of the city's emerging economic and cultural nature happens on the second Thursday of every month. Visitors are treated to a number of art exhibitions, street performances, open mic events, culinary offerings, and more. The Star Store is one of the major driving forces behind these monthly festivals. It has played host to several receptions, performances, lectures, and exhibitions.
The Star Store is a charter member of AHA. When AHA was formed, I think it's been maybe 13 or 14 years now. It's quite a long time. The gallery director at the time, Lasse Antonsen, was very involved in starting the programming for that and working with people like Lee Heald, who's the executive director, to give a sense of what are the kinds of things you could do on a gallery night.
The Star Store is very much involved with the AHA Nights, the arts, history, and architecture nights that celebrate the culture in the area, the arts, a variety of different aspects that the downtown area has to offer. And that's every second Thursday of each month. Each of the members within the AHA organization puts out their flag and holds a variety of different events, lectures.
AHA Nights are a perfect opportunity for visitors to get a taste of what the city has to offer. A highlight of the October 2014 AHA Night was the Edward Gorey exhibit reception at the Star Store's Crapo Gallery. Attendees offered up some fresh perspectives of the event.
It really is invigorating to see that the whole community kind of comes together over a piece of artwork, and they might not know who the individual is, who the artist is, but they can share their own opinion on it. It's really meaningful.
Art is a frightening word, a frightening concept to many young people, and this way it's non-threatening and fun to participate in.
It was interesting to hear what guests thought of New Bedford during their first visit.
I like it. I like the downtown area. I think it's beautiful. I've only been here 2 months, so I just moved to the area. I haven't spent a lot of time downtown. I really like it though. It's a beautiful mix of old and new. I like that old Siemens whaling type of thing, and I like the new aspect of it as well. So for me, it's really good. I think things like this are great for towns. The city I came from really didn't do anything like this, so I think it's great that people can come out and enjoy the arts aspect of it, the food, just kind of get to see the shops and different people around. I think that's a really cool thing.
I really don't know much about New Bedford, and it's a place that isn't really on my radar, interestingly enough, but there's lots here, and I think I will come back.
For those who have grown to know and love the city, the Star Store shines through as an icon of downtown's innovative spirit.
I do think the Star Store here does create a big impact on the community. This is if you could see around me, is a big hustle and bustle of lots of people, not just artists coming together, but I see plenty of professors and just people from the community.
The CVPA Star Store's contributions to the city are not exclusively cultural or artistic.
As soon as the Star Store was complete, they came. You look around now. I mean, it's the green beans and the no problemos and all of the fine dining like Cork. And I mean, I can name 15 restaurants that are excellent restaurants that weren't there before the Star Store. I can also tell you that all the second and third floor above the buildings were all empty, and most of the storefronts were either empty or they were businesses coming and going and having difficulty making it. So our plan, which has worked, was the students will come, the multitudes that love to be around artists will come, and sure enough, they have.
The students, faculty, and the patrons of the Star Store have a solid economic influence on the city and surrounding areas.
We need each other. They need us to keep people here, but we need the facilities and the access they provide. So the arts are the big driver.
We've got artists coming there in a new crop every couple of years, generating new work, bringing their creativity, bringing their talent to the institution, and then the community comes in and becomes a part of it. And so that adds to the vibrancy of the downtown. That makes people who really might not have a direct connection to the CVPA want to come to the downtown and spend money on art or on food or drink or whatever there are in our shops and galleries. So that's the kind of economic engine that I think the CVPA has become and could potentially become bigger in the future.
The relationship between the Star Store and downtown New Bedford has been and will continue to be a crucial component of the rejuvenation of the city.
Downtown clearly has become the arts and cultural mecca for the entire region. I mean, it's 10, 15 years ago, it was a struggle, and people with vast wealth in some of the surrounding towns wouldn't even come into the city.
The change that's happened is, now that we've been here for more than a generation, this is our 14th year, that we now are everybody knows we're not going away.
Events like AHA Night continue to bring new cultural and economic opportunities, which draw in fresh perspectives to add to the city's already vivid character.
Maybe 10 years ago or so, there wasn't too much going on when I was a teenager. We used to come around and hang in downtown area, and the school was here, but not so much involved with the community. But in the later years, I think that so much is being done to get people hanging around, do positive stuff. So much art in the community nowadays, and it's just great. We have kids coming over from all over the world. UMass students, BCC students, I'm a BCC student. And it's just a great community, and we all share arts and culture together.
In the words of famous New Bedford icon Frederick Douglass, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. No other city demonstrates this better than the city of New Bedford.
It's sometimes good, particularly I think for students, but also for the greater community, to understand the struggle and what went into making it happen, and actually the vision, because the vision is not just historical, it's kind of a prospective vision of the next phases of the Renaissance of New Bedford.